Hello Commanders, and welcome to another Star Wars Legion build video brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. As always, my name is Phil, and today we're going to be building both units of the Phase 1 Clone Troopers from the Star Wars Legion Clone Wars core set. Now, as always, we'll be recording our experience with building the figures and providing any useful tips that we found when building these. We always have to hand our army painted clippers, our Stanley knife or any good modelling knife, an emery board for some general cleanup, and some plastic glue and super glue. Now, all of the clone troopers do come pre-bagged, and you'll find each bag has 2 of each clone trooper. So you'll find your unit leader, the Z6, the DC-15, and multiple clone troopers in various poses. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go and do each bag separately, build them both at the same time so it gets them all done, and you'll find that this is probably going to be quite a quick process for yourself. The whole build process for both of these units took around 30 minutes for us, so compared to some model sets you're going to get, this is quite a simple and straightforward process. Some of these models are quite straightforward and monopose, however there is scope for you to change the arms around between figures, so you don't have to have a normal clone trooper holding a gun knelt down. You can put on there the Z6 or the DC-15, so it is really up to you how you want to do these, but we'll go through a few tips as we're building these together. Now, as we're building these, we're not gluing all the pieces together because we want to be able to go back in and paint some of the armour icons in the different Legion colours. Now, we're not the most confident painters, so anything we can do to help this and provide us easier access is going to be really handy. So you'll notice that we will glue all of the legs and bodies together and the head on, but then the arms we will just be dry fitting to make sure that they look right on the model, and that way once we've primed them we can take those off and paint any markings on there for the different legions that we want to use to be able to identify each squad. Now, as I said, we get a variety of poses with the models. You get your unit leader who has his binoculars on his waist, so that model is pretty much always going to be the same one. However, the other 6 clones in there, you can mix and match their arms up. Now, we've done them as they were in the bag, but we do have 2 other units of Phase 1 troopers which we've mixed it around a bit. So we've got a Z6 kneeling down, getting ready to unload hell on the droids, and we also have a DC-15 taking aim as well in a different unit. So don't worry about making sure that they have to be exactly the same. You can customize these to a fair degree for what are essentially monopose models. Now, as we said, we are only dry fitting those arms on so that we can get to the armour bits in there and paint them later, but all in all, these are some really nice models. They look really good and clean. Now, one of the main things that we're doing as we're building these is we're just checking each of the parts, as they are quite prominent armour pieces, we want to make sure that we are scraping off any mould lines using the back of our Stanley knife. In certain areas we'll use the emery board just to file it down to give it a nice smooth surface, but it's definitely worth checking all these pieces before you do assembly. As you can see, we are putting each bag, these separate models, to one side each, so we know that we've got all of the parts there so that they don't get mixed up. It's always a really good idea, if you have all the parts either bagged up or clipped off of a sprue, to keep them separate from each other so you know what goes with what. Now, one of the biggest tips we can give you on this is to make sure that when you are gluing them to the base that you're using super glue, we find that it creates a much faster and quicker bond. It might not be as strong as plastic glue, but that bond is going to be really good and strong for your casual play. So super glue is going to be a really good tip there. And with that, that is the 2 units of Phase 1 troopers all built and assembled, ready for priming. So we are really looking forward to getting some paint on those and seeing exactly how we can make those look ready to get on the table. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you do like what we're doing here at Out of Arc Gaming and wish to support us, we have a link for our Patreon in the description below. But we will be back next time with more Legion build videos.